Okay, welcome back. It's still VOP this morning on Voice of the People television. Now, the Peter Obi media reach has dismissed allegations by presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga that Peter Obi, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, is involved in planning a protest. The media office labeled these accusations as unfounded and suggested they are part of a scheme by the presidency to detain Obi, that is, Peter Obi. You may recall that in a statement on Saturday, Onanuga alleged that Obi's supporters are organizing nationwide protests against the Tinubu administration and warned that Obi and his followers will be held accountable for any unrest. Now, the Peter Obi media reach, through spokesman Yunusa Tanko, countered these claims, stating that the allegations are baseless and intended to curb Obi's advocacy for good governance. Tanko emphasized that Obi has consistently maintained a stance against violence, even under provocation. Joining us in this conversation is Barrister Eze Eluchie. Of course, is the barrister of the law, and of course, with the feather of a political analyst right now on the conversation. We still have Mr. Akin Patunke in the building. Barrister Eze Eluchie, I don't know if you're still there. Can you hear us? Barrister Eze Eluchie, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to be with you, sir. Now, there are lots of people linked to this protest. One of whom, one of the presidential candidates, whom we have noticed also speak about this protest is, Omoyole Sowore. Why would you think the presidency would rather finger Peter Obi in this oncoming protest, if it ever happens, instead of likes of Sowore and others who have come out to also speak about the protest personally?
Well, I don't think the Bola Tinubu regime will be sent so low to begin to allege that the person who is actually making this noise is the fellow called Bayo Onanuga.
He speaks for the president, sir.
On several occasions, he has blabbed out of point and has had to be corrected by the president's main spokesperson, which is Ngelale. Bayo Onanuga has severally tried to raise ethnic and religious sentiments.
Can you please remove your earpiece? Because we seem to be having a problem with the quality of the sound.
Can you help us take off your earpiece?
If you can, please. Can you unplug the earpiece? And let's speak directly into your device.
Is it okay now?
Fantastic.
Yes,
it's better. Thank you so much. So kindly help us recap what you said from the beginning.
Okay, now what I'm trying to say is that I don't think the Bola Tinubu regime will descend so low as to begin to allege that Mr. Peter Obi is part of this popular movement or popular demonstration. The person who is making this noise is Bayo Onanuga, and on several occasions, he has been corrected even by the official spokesperson of the government, which is Mr. Ngelale. So now that he's blabbing on this issue, Bayo Onanuga has severally tried to raise ethnocentric and even religious divides in the country. Maybe that is his job or his brief as an attack dog. And unfortunately, continue to maintain such a character in his government as whatever, as an advisor or whatever, puts to question the intent, the purpose to which the Bola Tinubu regime actually wants to govern this country. Is Bola Tinubu trying to stoke up ethnic sentiments to create more divide in this country? The issue of this protest is a popular protest, and it cuts across divides, ethnic, religious, and whatever divides. The price of foodstuffs in markets across the country, be it in Konowa, in Imo State, in Oyibo, in Lagos, Dugbe, in Ibadan, Sabongari, in Kano, people are complaining. People are no longer able to feed themselves or even their families. So this protest is a natural reaction to people's inability to make ends meet. So rather than send out attack dogs like Bayo Onanuga to go and make noise against innocent citizens, the government should rather look into itself, try to correct wrongs, and see how it can alleviate the poverty, the excruciating lack that is now afflicting Nigerians, and not send attack dogs to make noise.
Thank you. Thank you, Barrister Ziluchi. I'll come to you now, Mr. Akifatunke. The National Orientation Agency, through its MD, had said that they know the people who are responsible for this protest and that they want to make the country unrest, just like Mr. Barrister Ziluchi had said. The purpose of this protest is basically because of the inflation rate. People are very hungry, and this hunger cuts across tribe and religion. People cannot buy some things. Yam has become, a very expensive commodity now, where you cannot get one tuber less than 5,000 naira.
7,000.
How many families can afford this? Would you think, or would you say that this administration has done enough in at least controlling prices or helping the economy, as much as they are trying to ensure that this protest or any protest against them doesn't take place?
Thank you very much. I climb on the back of my barrister Eze. When it comes to stuff like this, let's untangle and let's go to the brass tacks. You asked me a question that there is inflation. It's not just inflation, it's galloping inflation. There is a lot of poverty in the land. There are policies that have been introduced that have not been properly managed. No doubt about that. And we have a revenue issue. We have productivity issue. Nigeria is not earning. We ate our cake yesterday, and we are thinking of baking tomorrow. It's not going to happen.
And is the government acting like we have these difficulties in terms of their own expenses? That's another question.
So you're not going there.
Okay.
You're not getting there.
Okay.
And so how has this happened? This has happened because the federal government, the state governments, and virtually non-existent local governments are there. And then in between that, you have the sausage and the jam, the National Assembly. We haven't seen exemplary conduct and exemplary leadership. We have had to do what you call budgets and supplementary budgets, and we are buying yachts. We are buying SUV.
And we're still running the last two budgets for last year.
And we are still talking about the fact that, we are not being led by example. Everybody is complaining. Even people in the APC ruling party are also complaining. So we've had all that. Now, come back to this
Allegations.
strike.
Yes, protest.
Protest, excuse
Yes,
me.
please.
Okay, well, we start with strike. And then we are not talking about protest. Because the Nigerian populace are saying that it is only by force that you can get what is due to you. You get them to begin to listen. And if that is the case, and Mr. Peter Obi has consistently been talking about some of the things you and I are speaking. To go out there now and then say Mr. Peter Obi is the one behind, yeah, maybe his supporters also making a lot of noise. People who are not of the obedient movement are also making a lot of noise.
Right.
I think, like the barrister has said, is an overreach. Now, I will also have to say this to balance my analysis. So if we are going to be having protests, which is a legitimate right of Nigerians, please, you know where to protest. You know where some of these shoes that we are wearing are pinching. Don't let us continually, I don't have a problem, continue to face the center. What about the states? So the protest, I presume, is going to be in PDP states, it's going to be in APC states, it's going to be Labour states, it's going to be NMPP
But
states.
we all buy from the same market, irrespective of the leadership of our states.
So the coloration must be clear that all governance in Nigeria has not been, what do you call it now? Of course, can't be utopian, has not been very effective. And being power means we are hungry. We need to do electricity all what have you.
To pause you here.
Go ahead.
Let's look at. Unfortunately, we don't have the picture of a young man, Junaidu Abdul Junaidu Abdul Samad, nicknamed Abul Sawa, who was picked up, I think on Friday or thereabout, was picked up on Friday. He's a TikToker, popular TikToker in Kano State, resident in Kano State, who was picked up for allegedly inciting, calling for protest. He has been behind bars since then. Now, let's also take this video from 2012 when the president, now president, was at a rally calling on Nigerians to protest, take back their country. Question from there. Let them be out now, speaking to the government of the day. And now we have Mr. Bayo Ononuga asking for a governance change is treason. Oh, well, let me come back
Even
to
he, Bayo, apologies for taking you on that. Even he, Bayo, supported that protest. There were tweets that showed that he supported and encouraged the protest at that time.
Of course, but let me come to you now, Barrister Eze. Good morning once again. How do you react to this juxtaposition now of Mr. Tinubu's comments with what we are seeing Nigerians call for now? And we also do know that in the past, a few years back, we had a Nigerian call for a revolution. Well, he has since been pardoned. But here Nigerians are calling for Revolution 2024, calling for putting an end to bad governance. How is this treasonable?
Thank you very much. And thank you for that journalistic feat of producing that video where Mr. Tinubu was calling for a change of government via unconstitutional means. But these protests are not going that far. These protests or demonstrations which are planned are within constitutional limits, where those who are planning the protest say they will be peaceful, and they are trying to urge people to come out and protest against bad government. Now, let the Bola Tinubu regime be warned. It is a constitutional right to protest. The law enforcement agencies are supposed to guide and protect Nigerians who are legitimately protesting. When the government begins to threaten violence, to threaten that police will shoot and do whatever, then that government should have become unconstitutional. We urge that the Bola Tinubu regime should stick within the limits of constitution. In that video which you just broadcast, Bola Tinubu was making alluding to the government of the day then having stolen the immediate funds of Nigerians and the children. The Bola Tinubu regime is stealing the monies of our grand and great-grandchildren. The Bola Tinubu regime is now trying to steal even our own monies. Those who have, they are not telling the banks that the banks must send whatever amounts are in dormant account to the central bank, which is stealing. Because if you drop your deposits in a bank, that is where it should be. So the Bola Tinubu is doing far, far worse than any other regime has ever done in this country. The Bola Tinubu regime is asking Nigerians to tighten their belts while they are loosening their own, creating new ministries, like the Ministry of Livestock. I mean, the Bola Tinubu regime has exceeded all known bounds of normality and reasonableness. So the very least Nigerians can do is to come out and express their angst with the system by demonstrating and protesting, which is, like I said earlier, a civil and constitutional right of Nigerians. But those protests and demonstrations, I must say, will be peaceful and have to be put in the bounds of peaceful protest. Now, with regards to where they occur, your guest in the studio had said it should occur in all the states and wheresoever. Nigerians are not blind to the reality that though we operate a federal system officially, supposed to be a federal system, we operate what is virtually a unitary system of government with all the powers centered in the center. So it is natural that people will gravitate towards protesting at the center. But then, like I said earlier from my initial comments here, the hunger is across the land. So definitely, Nigerians will protest all over the country because the hunger is palpable. If you walk in the street, you see the anger on the faces of Nigerians. When your children are going to sleep hungry, you cannot but be unhappy with yourself. And when you are working, you are doing all you can do. But the system is such that it diminishes your humanity, it pauperizes you. You have to protest.
Barrister,
You,
allow me
yes.
to butt in at this point. Allow me to interrupt your train of thoughts now. How do we guarantee peaceful protest when in the past we've heard protests being hijacked? We've seen people, come in and distort the arrangement of peaceful protesters. And let's not deny or let's not shy away from the fact that very recently also, some of those individuals who were captured in pictures during the NSAS protests, brandishing machetes and all, have been seen to be hobnobbing with certain individuals who are actually in government today. How do we now speak to the talk about hijacking? Now, let's not forget that the allegations against Mr. Peter Obi is that he should bear the brunt of whatever crisis will come from the protest. How do you react to that?
Because they are led by his supporters, right?
Because they are allegedly led by his supporters.
Pictures of the those who come in to disturb peaceful protests being chauffeured into the protest by government vehicles. We have seen videos, evidences of this happening in Abuja, in Lagos, even in Owerri. We have seen the government deliberately trying to scuttle what is peaceful protest. So that is what the government should guarantee us. The government should guarantee the people of Nigeria that they will not, like they've been doing before, try to bring in thugs, whether in police uniforms or whatsoever, to create divides among people. Like comments being made by Bayo Onanuga, for instance, shows the mindset of government that they may want to scuttle or to create divides or to ethnicize the protest or make it more of a religious issue. But the reality is that Nigerians know that we are beyond that, and we show that by doing the voting.
But just to get you clearly, are you accusing the government of being responsible for the same hijack that they fear of protests?
What I'm saying is facts on ground, video evidence shows that on several occasions in protest in several cities of Nigeria, Abuja, Lagos, Owerri, and several other places, government agencies, government vehicles have been used to try to chauffeur in thugs with machetes into the midst of rioters. And also, government security agencies have shot tear gas and bullets into protests, which tends to exacerbate the issue and make the crowd become violent. Once government avoids doing these things, these protests will move on, maybe drop their request and disappear. With regards to trying to lump everything on Mr. Peter Obi, it is just being pedestrian. Like the government will always try to create divides, say it's Igbo affair, it's Yoruba affair, it's Muslim or Christian. All that is errant bull, errant nonsense.
It's quite interesting that you mentioned this. And
it's errant nonsense.
I'm going to quickly say this, and I'm going to ask this question as well. Now, this allegation, I'm going to come to you, Mr. Hakim. These allegations, do you believe that it's going to impact the advocacy for good governance in Nigeria? Because we see it happen in other clients, particularly in Kenya. A few days ago, the president of Kenya, Mr. Ruto, did lay down all of his ministers. Are we going to see any level of maybe impactful governance as a result of this?
Is that to me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, I want to dissociate myself with comments that are incendiary. I do not want to be calling somebody a thief and all that. Yes, there are thieves. There are politicians, and they are spread all over. And it does not matter if you are obedient, you are APC, you are NPC. So, I also want to make this statement concerning the video you played. Super. Whatever comes around, turns around, and it's going to have to meet you. So it's comeuppance for Mr. President Bola Tinubu. If he wanted that to happen then, I'll be surprised that he meant that to the central government alone. He was talking about all politicians at all levels. And when PDP was holding space, they have a way of trying to do what we need to do. And I'll come to your question. I was taught that discretion is the better part of valor. And the barrister Eze has spoken about government to, sponsoring drugs. It's true, and it will be true.
So you agree with him?
I am not necessarily agreeing with him, but I happen to know that government will not have sponsored talk and then will have gone to Yaba left to go and do all the things that they did in Yaba left, to go to the citadel of what do you call it now, of Agrigo to go and burn down the place. They would not have gone to the police station to take policemen, kill them, and all that. So, discretion is the better part of valor. Do I feel? Okay, so finally, I agree with Barrister Eze. It's puerile to now be pointing the finger at Peter Obi. Peter Obi is not the one that we should be pointing fingers at. The finger that you are pointing at Peter Obi, 4 are pointing at you. We need to get back to good governance at all levels. I also know, as a matter of fact, some people call it palliative, some people call it, attempts are being made. They are little. They are not getting to the root and bottom in terms of a few reforms to try and see how they douse some of these pains. But time now is for government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to roll his sleeves, to make it all inclusive. Because part of the problem we still have in Nigeria, if Mr. Peter, I keep on saying this, if Mr. Peter Obi were to have won that election, or if Kwankwaso has won that election, the problems will not disappear.
Wouldn't there have been some holistic measures that they would have taken that this present administration is not taking?
Perhaps a different approach.
Like a different approach, yes.
Yes, the different approach. It's like asking me that, you go and plant corn yesterday, by today, there won't be hunger anymore. You see, I think it's an issue of trust. We must collectively get together. One of the key sore points that is still sticking out, and I keep on saying it in all my public conversations, a few low-hanging fruits. I mentioned oil and gas industry. I also mentioned the issue surrounding Nnamdi Kanu.
But Mr. Fatunke, apologies for cutting you. One of the major concerns of people is not just the fact that hunger persists. It's the fact that the government seems to be doing little or nothing. Let me land.
It is not true that nothing is being done. Okay. One. It is also very true that we are focusing too much at the center. The Nigerian democracy is not working. We have a constitution that is not working. And we have fifth lots in all the states.
But the government themselves managing, that's the thing. Are they managing?
So my point is, if you tell me Bola Tinubu, yes, I don't have a problem. He is the chief samurai, but he has other samurais that we should also be looking at, including the National Assembly. We must recalibrate and rechange. What happened, was it you or was it, I think it was Moses, I was talking about the NSAS, and it's the reason why I said, yes, protest, but let your protest be such that ordinary citizens who don't want to participate in this protest have a freedom to be able to work, and then you are not going to.
We're given 30 seconds each.
Okay.
And
all right.
Please abide by the 30 seconds. Your concluding thoughts in 30 seconds.
My first second is all the things I've said, I stand by them. Okay. Second, please, can we have a holistic review of Nigeria? Nigeria is not working. We all know Nigeria is not working. And irrespective of whoever comes out, I think I've used the 15 seconds now.
Ready.
And then finally, Nigeria has to take a holistic rebirth.
All right.
It's Bola Tinubu, it's the states, governors, It's the National Assembly,
Thank you very
it's the
much,
state
Mr.
assemblies
Akin
that we need to
Fatunke.
recalibrate
We
for good
appreciate you for
governance.
your
Thank
time
you.
and your thoughts.
Always.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Have I taken my 30 seconds?
Yes, you have.
I've taken
Yes,
35
you've
seconds.
taken it, you've taken it.
I'll give Eze my 5 seconds.
Barrister Eze, please, let's have your concluding thoughts in 30 seconds.
Yes, thank you very much. I think the bottom line is the government of the Federation should allow Nigerians to exercise their constitutional rights, and it should be peaceful, and it should get to its end. The government should rather look inwards and try to correct its wrongs, right its wrongs, lead and not rule, and be empathize with Nigerians. And once that is done, what Nigerians want is just simply good governance.
All right, then.
Efforts to backmate the country by trying to allege ethnic or religious connotations to these protests will only deepen the angst, and Nigerians will certainly prove themselves that this is our country. We're not going any other place.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate you, Barrister.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again, Barrister Eze Eluchie. Thank you for coming on the program, and big thanks once again to Mr. Akin Fatunke.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
so
so we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll delve into other aspects of the show: business, entertainment, and sports. Coming up shortly. Stay with us.